Do you want to finally learn all the notes on the fretboard once and for all? I know, you feel like you've already tried everything and ended up disappointed. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video. After working with over 500 students in my courses, I've identified 3 major mistakes that absolutely kill their progress. But more importantly, I've developed a super simple method that actually works, and chances are you haven't tried it yet. So in this video, I'm going to show you what those 3 mistakes are, how my method works, and why it can work for you no matter your level. But before diving into the method, you might be wondering what's the actual point of learning the notes on the fretboard. Well, imagine this. On one side, we've got guitarist A, let's call him George, who swears he'll never bother learning the notes on the neck. And on the other side, we've got guitarist B, Joe. He learned the notes years ago. Now, both of them want to learn how to improvise using triads. So they need to learn the different triad shapes and then be able to play them in all keys, right? But for example, to find that specific triad shape in G, you need to know where the G note is on the B string. And guess what? As soon as George sees that, he runs for the hills. Without knowing the notes, the difficulty of the task multiplies by 10. Meanwhile, Joe just has to learn the different triad shapes and can move up and down the neck like a fish in water. Here I'm using triads as an example, but I could have just as easily used the pentatonic shapes, modes, chords, arpeggios, you name it. Not knowing the notes doesn't always prevent you from doing these things, but it seriously holds you back. And if every time you try you fail, it might be because of the mistake number 1. If I ask you right now to play the note G on the B string, you might A. Count the frets from the open string, B. Look at the fretboard and panic, C. Run away, come back, or D. Think about it so long with your eyes closed that you fall asleep. Whatever you answer, I'm almost certain that when I say learn the notes on the fretboard, this is what you picture. A mountain, totally normal. When you look at your guitar neck and see all those frets and strings, it quickly becomes a mess and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So the first mistake is dramatically overestimating how hard it is to learn the notes. And the first step of the method I created is to de-dramatize it. So that's what we're going to do here. Most guitarists think learning the notes looks like this. Honestly, just looking at that gives me a lump in my throat. What a nightmare! So let's clear things up. If you know the natural notes and understand that a flat note is 1 fret down and a sharp is 1 fret up, you're good to go. So when visualizing the fretboard, ditch the sharp and flats. It already looks better. Now you're not going to learn anything beyond the 12th fret, because everything just repeats after that point. So we go from this to this. Not bad. But we can do even better. The low E and the high E strings, they're the same. You thought you had 6 strings to learn? You've only got 5 left. Boom. In fact, I know that many guitarists already know the note name on the E and A strings. And that's where you should start, by the way. If that's you, there you go. Just 3 tiny strings left to learn. So depending on your current knowledge, you either have this or this left to learn. And guess what? You are absolutely capable of doing this. You've learned to speak, read, count, ride a bike, drive a car, and all the stuff you've done so far. This won't be your biggest challenge. No matter what your level is, you've got the mental capacity. And don't insult your poor little brain like that. Even if you're 50 and learned to read at 6, trust me, you haven't regressed that far. Now, if I've helped ease your fears, I still haven't told you how to actually learn the notes. So let's move on to mistake number 2. If you've ever Googled how to learn the notes on the fretboard, you've probably seen stuff like just learn the notes one by one, E, F, F sharp, and so on, or techniques like the magic triangle. Now, I'll be honest, I've talked about these methods on my channel before. They're good methods for finding the notes, but not for memorizing them. With these methods, you're always relying on some other notes to figure out the one you're looking for. You're dependent. For example, if you only use the triangle method and I ask you to find A on the D string, you'll need to reconstruct the triangle to find your bearings. And here's an undeniable truth. You don't actually know where that note is. You just know how to find it. And don't think that repeating it over and over will help you remember it. That's not how memory works. Worse still, you waste a ton of time. Bottom line, you can't use it in real playing. Conclusion, these methods are perfect for finding notes, not for remembering them and embedding them into your DNA. So here's the best exercise to truly learn the notes on the fretboard. Use random notes. Make a list or use a generator, just Google random note generator. Work one string at a time and for each string find the notes in the order of your list. And that's how you end up knowing for sure that F is at the 10th fret of the G string. And I've made a bonus with a 2-week plan to learn all the notes. It's free, click the link in the description. Learning the notes by heart is great, but you know it's not enough. Maybe you've already tried this and forgot everything 2 weeks later. So how do you make the notes stick for good? Can you find the note A on the low E string? If you get it right away, I'm willing to bet it's because you know the pentatonic scale and or bare chords. Now, if I ask you to find C on the G string, so why do most guitarists know the notes on the E and A strings but not the other? To play the pentatonic shape number 1 in different keys, you need to know the notes on the E string. And that's the same for bare chords. You find them using the root note on E and A string. So to retain the notes forever, they need a daily purpose. Let's flip the problem around. Without daily use, your brain just throws away the info after a while. That's normal. So when exactly do you use the note on the G string in your playing? Probably never. And that's exactly why you never remember them. Unless you give them a reason to exist. How do you do that? Well, for example, you could apply the same logic of pentatonic shape 1 to the other shapes. Let's say you know that in shape 4 the root note is on the G string. Now you can play shape 4 in every key. In D, G, C, which means that now you're forced to know the notes on that string. But also, because you find a concrete use, you're going to use them all the time. And therefore, remember them forever. That's what I call the virtuous circle of learning. And check out this video to see how this method works for the minor pentatonic scale and how to apply it to your playing.